Welcome, my name is Pedro Beltran and we will be looking at my instructional design for a engineering club. First of all, I didn't want to have to put a landing page just yet because I know there are other components that I need to add to it. So I started as a blog for this part of the assignment, and I just call it instructional design for blended learning. Instructional design for blended learning. Initially, we have a introduction, overreaching the course goal, the desired results, the audience, and some screenshot of some of the components that we will have. So let's get started with the beginning. Something that you need to know is that the instructional design that I will be using for this engineering course will be based on blended learning and application of e-portfolios. Those are complementary. Although some people might say they are two different things, I will tell you that one thing is related to the other one because that's exactly what we have done with this master course. This master's has been about learning more about blended learning, and we've been doing it through our e-portfolio. So this is kind of the same opportunity I want to bring to my teachers and my students. I thought about a initial 5 module or 5 weeks on Canvas. That's gonna be the elements that I will be using. Each one of the learners and participants will create their own e-portfolio in a blended learning environment, which is really similar to what we've been doing at Lamar. And this will facilitate the collaboration and demonstrate the reflection of the learning. Initially, my audience will be my leadership team, just because I have this science specialist, the math specialist, social studies specialist, and the reading specialist, which they're going to give you a sense of this is something that might work with our teachers, and whether the pacing is the correct for that. And the portfolio is not a new concept, but it's new to my school. So it is really important, as I started with this master's course, on knowing why is it important and why is it necessary for our students. The basic understanding of blended learning, what is e-portfolios, how does it work, what is the purpose. So there are a lot of questions that I have initially, and I want to be able to address to peers and my teachers so they can have the same idea of what and how to develop this course. We will be using outcomes-based framework, so it's important that the teachers will be able to, or my leaders and teachers will be able to come up with their own e-portfolios. I know that initially 5 modules or 5 weeks is not enough because I didn't do it in 5 weeks, but this is just the introduction to it. The course goals, like I said, they will be able to create their own e-portfolios and share their work and reflect on the growth and develop their voices in a blended learning environment, which it will be having the Canvas course, but at the same time we will have meetings where we're talking about the improvements and the new things they are learning in the course. The desired results is after completing the Canvas course, learners will be ready to continue working on the next phase. Like I said, this was not something that I was able to do in just a little bit of time. I knew I needed to have more time to come up with my own portfolio. So I just want to say this will be the first phase. And they will be adding, after that, they will be adding content, resources, and examples and creating a blended learning course for their students so they can use in the classroom. My audience, they're gonna be everybody who's gonna all the applicants for teaching positions on an engineering club. This can go from 3 to 4 to 6 people. At the end, we will only have three teachers, but we want to make it available for people that might still want to participate, even as a volunteer. Although this is although the leadership team is part of the process, they are not the intended audience. They actually give us an idea of what needs to be tweaked, changed, but the audience will be the teachers. I do have my 3-column table, which just talks about learning outcomes, learning activities, and the assessments. Pretty much from the foundational part is to just examine and learn more about blended learning. Overall, this 3-column table is the same thing that I created for my innovation plan. Like I said, it's going to be through Canvas, so I already had the course. And this is my timeline. Started with the why, and then in the first module, learn more about blended learning, e-portfolios. What a blended learning is, what an e-portfolio is. There's a presentation, the 3-column table, beginning using models of blended learning, and beginning building our e-portfolios with some examples, and allow the teachers to use if it's better. Module 2 will be more into the implementation of a growth mindset, really similar to what we have done in Lamar. Module 3 is about blended learning in portfolios, implementation, and ownership, creating significant learning environments. Module 4 is into feedback, reflection, and start creating the configuration that we're going to have on our engineering pilot course. And of course, in module 5, we're going to start looking at the first samples of work from each one of the teachers. Next thing I have is just kind of like the picture of how the course will start looking like. I do have the course here. I'm really glad. I'm still working on it. But one module that I really can see through is module 2, which is the implementation of mindset, the objectives, the weekly resources, your perception of a discussion about your perception about growth mindset. There's a growth mindset plan, the benefits of networking. Still, there's discussions, some blog posts, and some assignments for their e-portfolio. So that's pretty much what I have as an example. But this pretty much has the whole layout that I just described. In addition, everything that we do, it comes with it's research based, and there's knowledge behind it. So it's important that it's not just my opinion, but it's a process that has been examined before. My literature review that will support why we're doing it this way, and why exactly are we really focused on blended learning and e-portfolios. Hopefully this is going to be enough information just to have a good starting point and for this instructional design.